Thank you for joining us today for this exciting webinar on Gain a 360-degree view of your product portfolio with Monday.com. I am Kopal Jain, correspondent at Express Computer, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. This webinar is brought to you by Express Computer in association with Enreap and Monday.com. Today's session is all about transforming the way you manage your projects and portfolios. We are thrilled to have leaders from IT, product, and operations with us, people who actually face the real challenges of juggling multiple projects, endless meetings, and scattered data every single day. Today, we are going to explore how modern solutions like Monday.com can help you gain complete visibility into your portfolio, streamline your workflows, and make smarter data-driven decisions. We'll be walking you through the new portfolio solutions designed to give you a clear, real-time picture of all your projects and initiatives. You will also see how automations can reduce repetitive manual work and how Monday AI can help you manage, analyze, and maintain your work more efficiently. I'm sure by the end of this session, you will have actionable insights on how to simplify project management and truly elevate your portfolio management strategy. So sit back, relax, and get ready to transform the way you work. Now it is my honor to introduce our speakers for today's session. Ben Pryor, Partner Success Manager at Monday.com, Roshan Kale, Monday.com Consultant from Enreap, and Yukti Kulkarni, Sales Manager from Enreap as well. But before we hand it over to our speakers, let me quickly share a few house rules to ensure today's sessions run smoothly and stays interactive. This is an audio-video webinar broadcast live and will also be available on demand on our website. We will have poll questions during the session. Please participate actively and share your thoughts with us. There will be a dedicated Q&A segment at the end of the webinar. However, you are welcome to submit your questions anytime using the Q&A text box. If you experience any technical issues, kindly refresh your browser or reach out to our team using the same Q&A text box. For any questions that remain unanswered during the live session, we will follow up via an email. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's session, Yukti Kulkarni, Sales Manager at Enreap. With over 7+ years in IT services, she brings strong domain expertise and a proven track record in helping clients achieve business success through technology solutions. She will now give us a quick review of Enreap and Monday.com and what is all it is about. So over to you, Yukti.
Thank you so much, Gopal, for the brief introduction. So, before moving ahead, I would just like to give you a deep dive. Before moving a deep dive into our today's topic, I just wanted to give you a brief introduction about Monday.com and about Enreap. So, Monday.com is a very user-friendly platform. It allows you to set up the process the way you and your team need. You can easily customize your workspace, as well as you can manage your tasks to fit into your goals. So Gartner named Monday.com a leader in adaptive project management and the reporting segment for the fourth consecutive times. Yeah, more than 100,000 companies are using Monday.com to manage their work, as well as to do the collaborative work at any location, at any time, no matters the type and the size of the company and the industry which they belongs to. So Monday.com is a multi-product company. They provide solutions around marketing, sales, product, and operations. For workways and project management, we do have a workways for work management. Then for the sales and marketing team, we have Monday CRM. For help desk, we have IT. For ITSM help desk, we do have a service, Monday service. So more than 200 plus marketplace plugins are available on the top of Monday.com platform. which you can easily use, and it will enhance the way you work. Apart from that, few tools your organization might be using like Slack, Teams, Salesforce, or Dropbox, that you can easily integrate with monday.com, or there are APIs are also available which you can use to do. Yeah, I'll quickly covering about Enreap. Enreap is a partner in your digital transformation journey, and it helped to achieve your operational delivery excellence. We have solutions around PPM, Agile, DevOps, Cloud, and the ITSM. I'm happy and proud to say that we are monday.com's platinum level partner, and around Monday we do provide all end-to-end service, be it consultation, implementation. We do provide training, tech support, as well as we are into managed services as well. So this is very brief about Enreap. In terms of a presence, our headquarter is in Pune, Kalyani Nagar, India, and we have a global presence in Singapore, Dubai, USA, and we have recently started our operations in Malaysia. Till date, we have served more than 600 plus client, which is like from 10 plus industries, and we have 80 plus certified resources with us. So this is an overview about Enreap. Kopal, over to you for the next session.
Thank you, Yukti, for sharing the brief about the organization. Before we hand over to our next speaker, let's kick things off with an interactive poll. Can we have the poll, please? All right. Which of the following tools do you currently use for portfolio project management? First, Excel spreadsheets. Second, traditional project management software, example, MS Project, Jira, Asana. Custom in-house systems, or none, you're looking for a new solution. Please select the option that best reflects your choice. Please go on, everyone, and share your responses with us. All right, so can we have the results, please? All right, most of the people have chosen Excel spreadsheets and traditional project management software. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for participating. Stay tuned, we'll be hosting more interactive polls throughout the session. So now let's keep the momentum going as we move on to our first speaker, Ben Pryor, Senior Partner Success Manager at monday.com. Ben looks after monday.com's partner customer success managers across ANZ and APAC, helping to ensure that customers across the region are equipped and empowered to get the most out of the monday.com platform. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome. So over to you, Ben.
First off, hi everyone. I hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to take you through a few new areas of monday.com as they relate to project and portfolio management. We'll be looking at it through the lens of a typical waterfall project structure. However, I want you to keep in mind that a lot of these features are building blocks. That's how I try to think about them. So they're pieces that can be used in entirely different ways based on different workflows and what's going to make sense for you, your team, and your organization. Also, with all our topics today, we've got quite a few to cover. Our goal isn't to tell you necessarily what you should be doing, or if you've got a portfolio set up in Monday already, the last thing I want you to do is leave the session today and rip it apart and start again. Not at all, but to show you some of the functionality that is available and some of the things that you could be doing with Monday if you aren't already, or if you haven't explored them in the same way as what we're going to show. So to kick us off there, I want to sort of just start our look at the portfolio solution by just starting with projects themselves. So it sounds like from the poll, there's a few different tools and platforms being used for managing projects. So for those of you who aren't aware, or maybe aren't exploring Monday quite as much for managing projects just yet, I'll quickly just sort of introduce what that can look like. So projects in monday.com are just as flexible as the rest of the platform. There's quite a lot of different ways that we can build out our project management workflow and the different templates that we use along the way. Monday has an extensive background in the area of project management, and many of our largest and longest standing customers, including some of the logos that you saw a little bit earlier on, rely on our platform to plan, execute, and report on some of their biggest and most impactful initiatives. And yeah, it's going to be just as modular and flexible as any other part. And I'll take you through an example of what that looks like in just a moment when we switch over to a little bit of a demo. And that functionality and that value that the Monday project boards provide on their own is fantastic just as a standalone, but it does often introduce some challenges. And these are challenges that you'll experience if you're using any of those other platforms that we talked about just before instead. For example, Excel, if you've got projects all built out in an Excel spreadsheet, a big challenge or consideration that can come along with that is how are we doing things like connecting all of our different projects together? How are we getting a high level overview? If we've got lots of different spreadsheets or lots of different boards built out, how are we getting that single source of truth to understand what's happening across our portfolio or our department or our organization, if we're, C-suite or upper management there, and we want to understand where are our resources being allocated and being utilized to provide the most value and to have the greatest amount of productivity for our business. Along with that, how are we keeping track of our deadlines at scale? And how are we making sure that where we want to go as a business is directly aligned with the work that's being output in those different tools. With Monday.com, the way that we typically look at doing this is by setting up something of a high level and low level board structure. So essentially taking our low level individual project boards, or if you're coming from Excel, your individual spreadsheets, and connecting those up to one main hub portfolio board in this case. Now again, this doesn't just necessarily need to be for project and portfolio management itself. As it says there on the screen, work has a habit of breaking down into lots of smaller work. Now, it might be marketing campaigns, and the CMO is needing to see a high level overview of all those different campaigns that are running. You may even use elements of this to create a CRM type experience to link and align different initiatives that are happening to specific customers or things that you're working with. There's lots of different utilizations for these same building blocks outside of strictly just a PMO structure. And this is something that we've typically achieved with Monday.com through the use of connect boards and mirror columns, which allow us to link particular items across different boards and roll them all together into that one single view. However, for those of you who have maybe built out these sorts of portfolios or these sorts of high level and low level setups before, you'll know that this can sometimes introduce its own challenges, unfortunately. Sometimes along with that, connect boards can be a little bit fiddly in that they can be quite tricky to initially set up. They're great once they're set up and working, but for those who are maybe not so technical or don't have as much time to be building things out in the platform as some of us do. For those users, it can be a little bit harder and maybe not quite as efficient to go in that method. Another thing to it as well is there's often a lack of standardization. So if we're wanting different parts of the business to work in similar ways, well, in those cases, if we've got different teams setting up their own connect boards and high level, low level structures, sometimes there's a bit of a mismatch, and so that can make it trickier for us to try and use the same templates across different parts of the business, or it just introduces a barrier to entry for some teams or some users. So those are a couple of quick challenges. Another one, of course, is automations, which Roshan will take us through in a little bit as well. But automating with connect boards, definitely possible, but also one of those trickier areas. So the functionality that I want to take you through today, the portfolio solution, helps us to address all of those. It's a much faster, as you see on the screen, out of the box portfolio management solution. It is exclusive to Monday's enterprise tier. So if you're on Pro, it's not something that you're going to be seeing, but hopefully today, even if you don't have access to it already, this will serve as a good introduction and you'll get a decent idea of some of the things it can do. For those of you who are on enterprise already and you're not using this, it's definitely something to consider, or at least have a think about where it could be beneficial in your own day-to-day. But you'll see here, it's very straightforward to set up in your workspace, if you're on enterprise, of course, and you hit the big plus button, you'll see the option to add a portfolio from there. And then just like any other board, you give it a name, you set whether it's main or private, and then that'll be created and away you go. I'll jump into a little bit of a demo now and take you through an example of what this looks like, as well as take a step back as well and show you just a quick example of a project board. So let's have a look. What we're looking at here is just a quick example of a Monday project board. In this case, you can see what I've got on my screen here is my different groups. So planning, execution, launch. My items here represent individual tasks or actions that need to be taken for us to complete that project. And then all of the columns that I've got along here as well are ones that we've added to help us look after different parts of the project. So I can see what the status of each of those items is, what the priority is, when we're expecting to start and complete it, the duration of it. We've even got dependencies in here as well. So what this allows us to do is change the date or the timeline of a task, and then have that flow through to all of the tasks that are dependent on it as well. So we're streamlining how effectively we can manage the time of our project instead of needing to update each thing individually. We've also got our planned effort, our effort spent, our budget, all the things that we want to keep track of for our individual tasks here. If there's any changes that we want to make to this, it's as simple as just adding a new column in there, or deleting or modifying any of our existing ones. So you can see I've got my owner column here for who is responsible for each of these tasks. So maybe I'll be responsible for tasks 1 and 2. Min can be on the third one. But maybe we also want a column in here for other people who are supporting on that task as well. So in this case, we're just going to add a column to the right. And now we've updated our project now. We've got this extra field in here, and we can just go ahead and rename that to support. And now maybe Tara is going to be helping me out on a couple of these, and Dan will be supporting on that one. So it's that easy and that quick for us to modify how we're working here to ensure we're capturing the right information about our tasks. Now, taking a step away from our individual project here, let's say, for example, we had quite a few different projects that we're running. We're not just looking after Project Sydney. Maybe in this case, I'm not a project manager, I'm a program manager, and I'm looking after 10 different projects. In that case, it's not necessarily feasible for me to be clicking into each one of these individually. So as I mentioned before, the way that we would have addressed this previously would have been with setting up a board like this, where we're using our connect boards and mirror columns to pull through the information about those projects. And you can see it's rolling up the people from Project Sydney here. We've also got those statuses on Project Melbourne. And if I go ahead and add another project in here, I'll just go ahead and call this Project Perth. Whoops, I actually missed a step on that one. I didn't copy it with the items, which is super easy thing to do. Let's try that just one more time. Sorry about that, team. We'll go ahead and say duplicate again, and I will say duplicate with the items. Project Perth. If I want to now connect all of these items into my board as well, this is going to be a little bit fiddly for us. Again, it's possible. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing it this way if this is how you have things set up. But what I need to do now is make sure I'm adding a Project Perth item to my portfolio board, and then manually making sure to link all of my items to it. So now I can see in my portfolio, I've now got Project Perth in there as well, and these statuses are pulling through. If I start to change any of these to, say, stuck, then we straight away see those reflecting in here too. However, as you saw, there was a couple of manual steps to that. And also, if I go and add another task into here, I'll just quickly add another task and hit enter. you'll see that that isn't being reflected in here. You can see this is currently related to, we're currently linked to 7 different tasks in that board. But we aren't pulling in this one. We aren't seeing this status. In fact, what I need to do in this case is go in there and link it up automatically. Now, there are ways for us to try and automate this, but again, what I want to illustrate here is that this isn't the most efficient way of managing things. And it can be a little bit more challenging for users who might not be quite as adept or in the weeds as other users. So this is where the new portfolio solution comes into things. So I'll quickly show you what that looks like. In my folder here, you'll see I've got this board called CS Project Portfolio. And in here is an example of our new portfolio solution where you can see I've got Project Novigrad, Kovir, Toussaint, Redania, and that corresponds to each of our projects that we have down the left-hand side here. These are all our individual boards. So these all operate in exactly the same way. What is significantly different for us, though, is that interconnectivity and how easy it is to use this. So in this case, if we go with the example from before, if I want to add a new project to my board, I can just hit the Add Project button from the portfolio itself. I'll go ahead and create a new one. In this case, it's going to let me give it a name. So let's call this Project. Think of another city. Let's go with Project Brisbane. And then I can select my template. So I can use an existing one, or I can just use the standard one. But it does allow us to have that flexibility if there's different templates that we're working with. I'll say create project from here. And this is going to create that brand new board for me, link all of the items back to my portfolio, and also automatically link any new items that I create in there as well. So you'll see that it's created Project Brisbane for me. Project Brisbane only has 3 items in it. I can see that one of them is done, one of them is being worked on, and one of them has no status. If we go into Project Brisbane, we can see one that's, oh, sorry, there's sub-items in this one. That's why it's doing that for me. But if I now go ahead and add another item into here, and I maybe set that status to stuck, and I go to my portfolio, we'll see for Project Brisbane, we're seeing that item there that is stuck as well. So that's being linked up immediately for us. We don't need to worry about any manual connections there. With the portfolio solution, it's handling all of that straight away for us. Some other cool pieces that are part of the portfolio solution itself is some out-of-the-box reporting. So if we click into any of our projects here, like Project Redania, that instead of bringing us straight into the updates panel, brings us into the project insights page. And this is showing us a battery widget with the overall project progress. It's showing us changes to the RAG status. We can see our Gantt chart in here as well to see how everything's tracking on a timeline. If there's things that we need to adjust, we can do that from here as well. And you'll see that that's pushing items around based on our dependencies. But we don't need to go into our individual boards to keep track of that. If I'm looking after things at a high level here, this is where I'm able to manage everything from. And I can even go ahead and create or modify my items from directly in here. If I want to see what's happening on an item that's maybe stuck, I can click that status from there and open up that item and leave an update directly in there to see what's happening on that item. Outside of that, with our portfolio view, we've also got our Gantt view here set up that shows us all of our projects and the timelines for each of them, as well as this exclusive snapshot view, which is something that we only get as part of the portfolio solution as well, which gives us a bit more of a visual way of seeing our different projects. Here you can see how many projects we have that are off track, how many that are at risk, how many that are on track, and then we can also slice these down and see them by maybe the project manager or by the plan versus the actual timelines on them, or by the number of done tasks. So a few different ways to visualize our portfolio there. To get set up, as I mentioned before, with a portfolio like this, again, all we do is we hit the plus button in our workspace. We say portfolio. I'm going to call this Ben's portfolio. say create, and that is going to be done for us. We don't need to modify any connect board columns. We don't need to set out anything else manually. This portfolio is now in place for us. If I want to migrate my portfolio across, maybe from the one I was using before with my old school board here, I can actually do that directly into this. So I can say add project up the top, and instead of saying create project, what I'm going to look for here is Project Sydney, and I'm going to go ahead and click it. And what that's going to do is add my existing project into here. And now any new items or anything that I change in that board will be automatically updated and reflected in here. So we get all of the advantages as if we had created that project directly from here, but we're able to just sort of migrate in our previous setup. I'll go ahead and add Project Melbourne as well. Oops, that's interesting. What happened there? Might have been because I was testing this before and I may have deleted the old Project Melbourne, but that's all part of the fun of demoing live. Let's try again. No, it doesn't want to do that one. Don't worry about that one. But Project Sydney, as you can see, has pulled through same as. And again, any changes that we make to it will flow through into here as well. So that's a quick overview of our portfolio solution. I am very conscious of time, so I'll wrap up in just a moment. But just to round out this portion of the session, to give you a bit of a side-by-side comparison. So with the old school way of creating our high-level and low-level boards in Monday, with our connect board columns, we have up to 60 board connections which are available. So that means that if you have a large portfolio and you've got maybe 59 projects, then you're about to run out of space because the connect boards column there can only handle up to 60. Whereas with the new portfolio solution that we just looked at now, that can currently handle up to 200 with plans for the coming months for that to be up to 1,000. So if we're really wanting to manage things at scale and have that high level of visibility, then the new portfolio solution is going to be a must try in this case. Also with the traditional portfolio, it's a lot more manual to set up. However, maybe you find it more customizable. It's entirely up to preference there. And it is quite a familiar layout. Whereas with our portfolio solution, we do have those exclusive views to it, as well as functionality like the resource and capacity manager, which are exclusive to working with the portfolio solution as well. Although it is an enterprise feature. So just something to keep in mind as well. And this just sort of reiterates some of those previous points, so I won't spend too much time on this, but yeah, so the main takeaway here is that it's a lot more efficient, has a much higher degree of scalability and does provide a lot of those out-of-the-box tools for managing things for your team and for your department. Cool. That is my time, so I will hand it back over to our moderator now. And thank you, everyone. I'll see you in the Q&A section.
Thank you, Ben, for that insightful presentation. And now it's time for another poll question. So can we have the poll, please? All right. Which capability would add the most value to your portfolio management today? Centralized executive dashboards and visibility, automation to eliminate manual steps, AI-driven insights and reporting, or flexible workflows that adapt to business needs? Please, everyone, go on and share your responses with us. Choose the option that best reflects your choice. All right. Can we have the results, please? All right. So 42% of people think AI-driven insights and reporting add most of the value to their portfolio management. All right. Thank you so much for participating, guys. And now to gain more insights, let's hear from our next speaker. Roshan Kale, Monday.com consultant from Enreap. Roshan leads the pre-sales practice for Monday.com at Enreap. He has partnered with clients across multiple industries, consistently helping them streamline processes and drive significant efficiency. Roshan is not only a Monday.com certified expert, but also brings a strong background in project management. This unique combination allows him to focus on delivering truly tailored solutions that enable organizations to achieve their most challenging goals. Truly delighted to have him today. Please join me in giving him a warm welcome. Over to you, Roshan.
Thank you. Thanks, Gopal. And thank you, Ben, for this insightful walkthrough about the portfolio features in Monday. So coming back to the questions and the polls that we have, yes, it's the standard practice as most of the organization are still utilizing the Excels and spreadsheets right now in the market. And there are some traditional project management tools also being utilized right now. Let's understand why Monday comes in with such kind of an intuitiveness for the end user is because of its what I can say, the user-friendly UI. Okay. So relating back again, what Ben actually showcased you is nothing but the enterprise feature that Monday have just launched, wherein you can build a kind of a bottoms up approach, starting from a project level to a program level, how the informations or project level, how the informations can be rolled up. But let's talk about something very interesting terms in a way that how to automate these things. Okay. So there were very few of the manual steps that Ben actually performed, actions that Ben actually performed during the presentation. Now let's see how this you can automate in Monday. So there is something in Monday which is called as an automation, a feature, which is nothing but a kind of a predefined rule, wherein you can use to eliminate the kind of a manual steps that you take to track or to process the project management related use case, right? So what I mean to say is that any kind of an manual work that you do, either it be creating a project, relating it back to the portfolios and taking a drill down report and everything, how you can automate these things in Monday is something that I'll be showcasing right now. So this can be done using the automation features in Monday, which is based out of one single English language condition, which states that, okay, when this happens, then do this. Let me show you that. Yeah, you see, this is the normal what I can say, a predefined rule that we have in Monday. That means any sort of an action that you want to perform in any of your project boards that is there, that when any trigger that you want to, that a user will hit, what should be the equivalent reaction that the system should process. This is nothing but going to be a workflow for the entire project management system. Okay. Wherein you can see, we can select the trigger when status changes to something. Something is nothing but going to be the condition. You can say, you can select that, okay, it is working on it, something of that sort, right, on a task level. And then what should be the equivalent reaction that it should trigger, like notifying someone. Let's consider a case wherein a task has been defined with a due date, right? And a due date is approaching. So one day before, you want to notify your what I can say, your project managers that the due date for this particular task from this particular project is actually approaching. How you can set up that in Monday? Let's see that. So this is a normal project board, just like what Ben actually showed us, right? Wherein you can see there is we have planning stage, under that we have task. Then there is an ownership column wherein we can assign the ownership to the respective stakeholders, right? And there is again a column called as a timeline column. In this timeline column, you can certainly select a date range starting from, let's say, what is the start date and what is the end date of the expected task. So I've selected 6th to 9th, right? Now I want to set a notification that whenever any due date is approaching, it should notify. Okay, it should notify the respective stakeholder one day before that the due date of your task is approaching. How to set up this in Monday? Just go to this automate center. If I click on create automation, this is the one that I was talking about. That means when this happens, that do this. So the kind of an use case that we just talked about in terms of notifying the specific user, right, when the due date is approaching, let's formulate that into the kind of an automation in Monday. So like for us, what is the trigger? That the trigger is nothing but the due date is approaching. So what I can do, I can set up the trigger like date arrives. When I want to do it one day before, or let's say one day after, 2 days before, at what particular timestamp, you can select the timestamp as well. Let's say 8:15 a.m. I can select it. The timeline column. That means I'm mapping the column structure that I have on my board level, right? You can select the timeline end date. And what is the next action that I want to trigger is like, I want to notify the project manager. So I can click on notify. I can set up the template like due date approaching. right? Yeah. And I can select a specific person. That specific person can be anyone from your the license holder of Monday. So I'll select Roshan over here since I am the project manager in this particular project. So I can simply hit create automation. That's how the due date related workflow using the automation feature in monday.com is created. So at any point of time, let's consider if there are 100 or 200 tasks within one single project itself. It's a one-time activity. That means we'll create as a workflow within the solution itself. So whatever the date be assigned, it will automatically send the due date reminder one day before to the assigned stakeholder for the completion of that specific task. So this is on a very high level. This is a kind of a very configurable or customizable automation that we created. Okay. So this brings me to introduce that the platform is a low code, no code platform, right? That means at any point of time, you need not require any kind of a technical expertise to configure any kind of an automation or workflow into your solutions. You just need to incorporate the kind of a board structure that you want to have on a board or a project board in Monday. And then you just need to go onto the automation center and create the workflows. So this is all something that we created from the scratch, but Monday also offers you kind of a predefined template in the automation center. These are the ones. So these are the predefined templates. That means if you want to have a date related automations to be set up in your respective projects or boards, just go to the date category. And these are some of the relevant, what I can say, the automations recipes that are there. Just hit any of the one, relate the columns that you have, use and set it up as a workflow in your boards. So that's how you can certainly create the workflows in Monday. So if I can just relate back to the what Ben actually showcased you, kind of a demonstration wherein how the projects are created, how it is related to the programs or the portfolio that you have, how you can do that using the automations. So now consider for a fact like a use case wherein you have a project request board, right? And that project request board, you will capture certain project requests. And these requests, again, if we consider like there are different types of portfolios or category of projects. The category of projects can be a portfolios, or you might have different portfolios also, right? So if you want to relate that project request to a certain category of or a category of project or a portfolio, then how it should automatically created using a kind of a template, a pre-built template within monday.com, the kind of a WBA structure that you can certainly save it into the template center in monday.com itself. And using the automation, whenever the trigger has been identified, okay, it's an implementation type of project, how it will automatically create an entire project board for you, and it will automatically connect back again to the portfolios. Let's see how we can do it. So here, this is something that we have as an incoming request board, wherein you can either submit the project request via form submission. So Monday also offers its own Monday forms, wherein you can utilize this and capture your project request. Once you submit the project request, it will be created. It will be landing up in this particular board, which is nothing but the incoming request board, project request board. Here, what we have done, we have selected like it's an implementation type. So again, coming back to the category that I was mentioning, that there are 3 types of category right now on my instance, like which says that, okay, implementation, transformation, and work order. These are nothing but portfolios. Okay. So what I want is like in the template center. Okay. In the template center, I've already saved a kind of an WBA structure, which is related to the implementation type of projects, right? So it is already there, you see, in this particular section. So this is the template that I've already saved into my system itself. Now, once I hit the trigger, like, hit the create button. So what should happen? It should create a project with the name Project Horizon, and it should automatically inherit what is already there in the implementation template, right? And it should create a project board in this execution center. In the implementation execution center, it should create a board, a project board for me. So let's see that how we can do that. Just click on the create project. We'll wait for a few seconds. If I can just show you, you can see it over here. An automation is running in the backend, and Project Horizon is automatically created in the implementation portfolios, whereas it is going to be created as a project, as an independent project in the execution section. Let me refresh this. Yeah. You see, the Project Horizon is automatically created as a project. It actually inherited the WBS structure that we have saved in the template center, and full-blown project is created for you with every automations and everything is actually pre-built. What is there, what was there in the template, right? Now, if I again go back to the portfolio section, so here you can see automatically the entire task list is again created back to the portfolio. So like now you can also imagine, if at all there are different if you want to build a kind of a persona based view, so this view is particularly for your project manager, whereas you can certainly have a dedicated view for a portfolio manager itself or a program manager, wherein you can configure an entire tracking mechanism related to your programs. You can easily manage it over here. Now consider also a fact about, like, if at all the portfolio manager wants to have a detailed view on the task level. Right now that you can see on the screen, is like in this indicator we have one task which is stuck in this particular project, right? And if at all, if I want to take a deep dive into it, just click on it, you will have the details there on the screen itself. Just let me add this activity item card. Right, so this actually gives you an entire visibility. You need not to go back again and search for the details of one single task, what is actually happening on a project level. So now you can imagine the kind of a silos that we can certainly mitigate in any of the project management use cases, right? So that's where the Monday is actually gives you leverages, and that's how using the automations you can certainly formulate such kind of a complex workflow. Okay, yeah, this is all I basically wanted to cover up for today. Over to you, Yukti. I'll be seeing you guys in the Q&A section as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roshan. I'll be covering Monday AI updates over the past few years. Like, we are using or like talking about AI, and across major of the companies are interested in AI and their capabilities, and most of us have used AI in our day-to-day life or at organizational level, where you can consider this as we might have used a chatbot like ChatGPT, or coding assistants like GitHub Copilot, like that. Especially in past 12 months, we have seen a rapid growth in AI industry. And now we are using AI, we are modifying ourselves to learn, to adopt, and to work with the help of AI to increase our operational work. Yeah. In today's session, I wanted to introduce Monday's capability, how Monday is building their capability around AI space. So around AI offering is basically based on the three pillars. The first one is the AI blocks. It is one of the most important. AI block is one of the most important pillar. You can use this to build almost anything. You can use AI blocks on the top of automations. Roshan has already covered that very wonderfully, how automations can be used on the Monday platform. The next one is the AI powered up products. These are the product specific AI functions. So for example, for the Monday CRM, you can use Monday CRM to simplify and automate your everyday task. You can use it for the summarization of your emails and the activities. You can even use it for composing the emails. Apart from that, you can use the autofill functionality of the AI. For Monday Dev, you can use it from build, launch, plan, all in one go with the help of AI capabilities. Yeah. For Monday services, again, you can use it to assign that to the right person. You can use it for the summarization, and you can give a quick responses with the help of AI. For Monday work, how you can use it in Monday work OS, you can use it to automate and also identify the risk on the project. So this is how you can use the AI capability based on the each for the each products. The third one is the digital workspace. Also, there are few things in development at present that will sit on the top of Monday.com platform level, like Monday Magic, Monday Vibe, and the Monday Sidekick. We won't be spending much time today I wanted to just mention that in today's webinar, as we are doing so many things around AI. Yeah. So AI blocks can be used in a three ways. One at a column level, other one is at a automation level, and the third one is at a workflow level. I just quickly wanted to give overview how AI blocks can help you to simplify and to help you to your reduce operational work. Yeah. So let's consider I am a hiring manager at Enreap and I wanted to use AI capability to segregate the resumes instead of going manually through each and every resume. What I will do, I'll take a help of Monday AI capability. For that, I will just click here on the email sections and I will get an option of autofill this column, and from here I can see extract. If I click on the extract information by just simply giving simple instruction like extract email addresses from resume, I will get all the email addresses here. So from this section you can see, I can see the preview as well, the preview AI result. I just need to do save and apply. Within a minute you can see all the email IDs will be reflecting. See? Yeah. Isn't it amazing? Yeah. I just wanted to showcase one more capability of AI, like AI column. If we just if we click on the plus icon here and go to the more column section, and from more column here, yeah, see under the column section we will get a AI powered feature. Yeah, there are already tons of actions are readily available for us to use. And for today's demo, I'm going to use assign label. I can analyze resume. I just need to give some inputs. If I wanted to give some additional information, just like candidate with 4+ years of experience and should have inside sales experience with strong communication. Yeah, I just need to save and apply. And in assign label section, I will get the detail. Just wait for a minute. Yeah. See, it helped me to identify the label. So it eased my work, all the operational tasks. I can see whom I should target first, and it will help to save my time and to do my all the operational tasks. So I can take an interview for these candidate first and then segregate the further. Yeah. I hope this is helpful. Yeah. The AI powered productivity assessment, yes. So Monday.com, as I mentioned in the earlier, like there are the three different products, that is Monday Magic, Monday Sidekick, and Monday Vibe. Monday Magic is an AI powered tool which is directly built on the top of Monday.com. It actually transforms your simple prompt into a ready to use customized work solution. Simply describe your business case or your challenges, and within a minute Monday Magic will create a fully functionable workspace for you. And in this workspace it will create boards, column, dashboards, as well as form. For Monday Sidekick is the first digital worker. It is a natural conversation agent. We can that Monday Sidekick can understand your business process, business context, and personal preferences as well, and it will help you to get a real work done faster. And for this, you will not need even a technical knowledge. Yeah. So just to give you an example, for a content lead, that person can generate or generate creative brief or a campaign summary within a accurate content data based on the board. Yeah. The third one is a Monday Vibe. Monday Vibe is a vibe coding tool that turns simple prompt into a fully custom secure business applications on the monday.com platform without writing a single line of code. In Monday Vibe, you can go from idea to application within a minute using a simple language prompt. Isn't it amazing product? Yeah. So for the next session, I just wanted to request Gopal to take ahead for the Q&A part.
Great insights, Yukti and Roshan as well. Thank you so much. Now let's open the floor for our Q&A session. We would love to hear your thoughts and questions. Please use the Q&A tab on your screen to submit your queries, and we'll do our best to answer as many as time permits. All right, so we have one question here. Our first question: how can monday.com help us manage and track the progress of multiple projects simultaneously? So over to you, speakers.
Like what we saw, right? We can roll up the information from a project level to a task level, to the portfolios or the program level. So there are multiple ways to do it. Like we can create dashboards. So again, since we also didn't just because of the time constraint, we're not able to cover up the dashboarding section. We can have persona based dashboards like a project level dashboards, and again a portfolio level dashboards. So such kind of an information we can certainly utilize to create such to have such kind of a reporting in details related to the projects.
All right, we have our next question from Waris Malik. He's asking scope of monday.com tools implementation, examples in corporate IT support.
So it's like so Mr. Varis, monday.com is not something that is related to a kind of a project, a dedicated or a legacy kind of a project management solution. It's a product wherein you can create your own project management related methodologies, keeping the standard terminologies of project management as a baseline. So like for every IT sector, okay, or IT corporate company, there are different ways to manage the project. It also depends upon the kind of an methodology that you would have internally to process your projects, like whether it's a waterfall model or whether it's an what we can say, it's an agile way. So if at all it's an agile approach that how you are managing your projects, we have a different product which is called as a Monday Dev, which only talks about the agile related functionality, and that's how we actually project monday.com as a project management solution even to the IT corporates.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you, Roshan. We have another question from Mr. Siva. He's asking how to include subtask depending on main task in the project.
Right. So we have a dependency column wherein we can define those dependencies among task and subtask. And there is also functionality wherein we can roll up the subtask information to a parent task itself. So like, for an example, there is a main task. You have divided that main task into sub 4 tasks, right? So subtask 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it likewise, if you want to have an parent-child relationship that only whenever any subtask is completed, then the parent task should be considered as completed. We can certainly craft such kind of an workflow using the automations that I've just demonstrated in my session. That is also possible in Monday.
All right. Next question for you, Roshan. How can I integrate financial tracking in PPM?
It's like it depends upon on which particular tangent do you want to track those things, whether you want to track it on a project level or on a portfolio level. So likewise, it's not restricted for a user to add the columns either on a project level or on the program level. You can have such kind of an financial numbers related columns or formulas in the in either of your projects or in your portfolios as well. So if at all, if you're tracking on it on a project level, so you can, as you have already seen, we were able to project you that how the project level information rolls up to a program to a portfolio level, right? So in a similar way, if you are calculating it on a project level, we will be able to roll up the information, either be it financial information from a projects to a program level, and certainly you can have those mechanism to be there on the portfolio level as well if you want to have an holistic view of it.
Okay, another exciting question from Dr. Uma. What will be the future of AI as quantum computing is the key topic now?
I would like to take this question separately, ma'am. I'll be happy to connect with you at any point of time. I can give you an insight what all things that we have, a future roadmaps in terms of AI capabilities in a Monday. So it depends upon use case to use case basis, and likewise we can have a discussion onto it.
Sure, sure. So we'll take up the next question from Webher. He's asking, does the Pro plan include AI capabilities?
Yes, it does include the AI capabilities, but it has a credit limit to it. I think Yukti is answering that question.
Yes, I was just writing,
Yeah.
answering that in chat.
All right, so we'll take up the next question. How can we manage portfolio level timelines and milestone?
Right. So Praveen the kind of you can see we have created a dedicated view for your portfolio, right? Wherein you can track the project level details rolling up from the task level within a project, and it is actually rolling up to a portfolio level, right? So in that particular case, anything that is happening on a project level is actually required to be monitored on a portfolio level. Then and then only you can define certain parameters against which you can track the particular project, right? So that means if you have a dedicated space for your portfolios, you can certainly have such kind of a mechanism to be built in within that portfolio board, wherein you can set up those parameters into it, and eventually the actuals is actually coming up from the project level. So that's how you can certainly evaluate those things. What is the limitation of the portfolio features? So as in such, we have not configured any kind of a limitation right now. It's something that is just launched for the enterprise as an enterprise product. Okay, but till now the only limitation that I've seen, which Ben actually highlighted, was to connect it with 200 projects. But again, as Ben actually pointed out, that there are some plans in future wherein you will be able to see that you can connect up to 1,000 projects to one single portfolio.
And also, we are happy to arrange a separate call to have a further discussion with you, Praveen.
Definitely. So we are running short on time. Let's take one or two more questions. How can portfolio data be visualized for leadership reporting?
Right. So as I told you, that we can create different types of a persona-based dashboards, right? So that we have the information that is actually tracking on a project level. We can have a separate project-related dashboard dedicated to one single project itself. Also, since we are rolling up the information from a project to a portfolio level, wherein we have, let's say, there are 10 projects to one single portfolio or related to one portfolio, we can have a dedicated dashboard to be created for that specific portfolio board itself. And likewise, you can have a specific, what I can say, a dedicated view or a dashboarding system related to your portfolios.
Okay, one last question. How can risk management be embedded in Monday.com?
So there are multiple ways to do it. You can track risk on a project level. You can have a mitigation plan within that specific to be built in within that specific project. So it depends upon use case to use case basis. Like we can also have a separate risk register wherever any risk is identified on a project level. Even on the task level, you can maneuver that task in a separate risk register, have an entire risk mitigation plan or tracker to be created in that risk register itself, and you can track that. And eventually you can also roll back those information in the project. I would seriously like to demonstrate that to you, how in a multiple ways, how we have did for multiple customers. Yeah.
All right, thank you for all your thoughtful questions and active participation. And for any questions we couldn't address during this session, we'll reach out to you via an email with the responses. So thank you so much. And with that, we come to the end of today's webinar. We hope this session has given you valuable insights into how Monday.com's new portfolio solution can revolutionize the way you manage your projects, bringing clarity, efficiency, and strategic alignment across your organization. From streamlining workflows and automating routine tasks to unlocking the power of AI for smarter decision making, Monday.com empowers IT, product, and operation leaders like you to work more efficiently and drive impactful results. So, on behalf of Express Computer, we'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our speakers for sharing their expertise and to all of you in the audience for your time and active participation. So, if you're ready to take the next step towards better portfolio visibility and operational excellence, our team is here to help. Feel free to reach out with questions, request a personalized demo, and start your journey with Monday.com today. So we look forward to seeing you at our upcoming webinars. Thank you once again and have a great day ahead.